Frank and I have been married for 36 years. We have 3 sons.
My dad is a pretty outgoing, well-respected guy, both in dentistry and in life.
Frank would go steelhead fishing in the spring and fall. He would take his sons on canoe trips.
Frank was a superb dentist, had very, very caring, excellent craftsman with his work, and very good rapport with the patients.
Everyone loves Frank. Everybody falls in love with Frank. He has such a positive attitude and he's such a good person.
Frank was remodeling his basement. Dust was falling from the ceiling and he developed a cough. He thought the cough was from dust.
He was choking on food and having trouble with his speech. Actually so subtle that I didn't recognize it. He was losing muscle in his hand. Being a dentist, he knew what his hands were supposed to look like, and I thought he was a little bit crazy. But sure enough, he was diagnosed with ALS in January of 2002.
Frank continued to work in his practice as best he could. One day he called me and said, "I've decided it's time for me to give up the practice and go on claim."
It was quick. From diagnosis to being on a ventilator, he progressed to retiring in October of 2002 because he couldn't practice anymore.
I met with Frank at his office, and it was a very emotional discussion. We both cried, actually, and we talked about how it would affect his business, how it would affect his life, and how the insurance contracts would work.
Most important policy we had for the transition was the overhead disability insurance.
That paid his share of the office expenses, fixed expenses. They paid the payroll and his share of rent. And so there was no dramatic change in his partner's life. The disability buyout contract made a lump sum payment to the corporation.
I was able to purchase Frank's share of the practice without having to dig deep into my own personal finances.
The policies allowed Dr. Mockenbach to purchase it, and then I shortly after was able to purchase my dad's portion of the practice back.
Without that insurance, it would have been much more difficult for me to keep finances going and keep everyone in a very smooth transition for Adam coming into the practice.
Rich made sure that Frank had every aspect of his business and his personal life protected. We had personal life insurance. He has personal disability insurance.
Frank now receives his personal disability payments, which enable him to live in his home.
We probably spend out of pocket about $90,000 a year to maintain him. He has lost the ability for almost any movement, and he's lost the ability to breathe. He can move his head a little bit, and he can move one hand a little bit, and with today's technology, truly has an amazing ability to function on a daily basis.
They've been able to come this far with the insurance policies and not have to sell their house or not have to take a step back.
It's been a real roller coaster ride. There are some days that are very easy and there's some days that are very, very difficult.
We have 24-hour care and a strong family network to support each other.
Today, with where he is in this stage of ALS, his mind is unaffected. The only thing that's affected is his motor skills.
He was told he would not see his first grandson born, and he's seen 3 grandsons, and they are the light of his life. Even though his life is compromised, he's still a happy person, and he likes being here.